How to learn a language fast. I, by the age of 13, knew 3 languages, which is Arabic, English, and Turkish. Not counting the sign language, because even though my brother is deaf and we speak in sign language, I didn't master it. We didn't learn advanced stuff. It is just basic daily stuff that is repetitive. So I'm not gonna count it. Now, you want to learn a language, and you probably be like, Lion Wing, you're too smart. I cannot learn a language fast like you by the age of 13. And to that I say, yes, I am. But using these 3 rules that I'm gonna teach you now, you're gonna learn any language effectively and fast with no bullshit. Now, what's the first rule? First rule is basically learn sentences, not words. What do I mean by that? When you start learning a new language, most teachers are gonna teach you to learn the language using words. They're gonna be like telling you that a bed is yatak in Turkish and sarir in Arabic. And they're gonna be like repeating. That's the slow way. That's the retarded way to learn a language. Even though I was memorizing 10 words per day when I was learning Turkish, I found another better way, which is learning sentences. For example, you want to learn bed, the word bed. Instead of just learning the bed, you're gonna use it in a sentence. I slept over the bed yesterday. أنا نمت على السرير بالأمس. Ben dün yatakta yattım. Here you use a verb, which is I slept, and you use a pronoun, which is I, and you use a time phrase, which is yesterday, and you use the word which you are learning, which is the bed. When you start learning sentences, and writing the sentences, you can replace one word in the sentence and still have a meaning, and still practice the other words you learned. Instead of repeating every single word one time, you can, for example, change the bed to be the car. I slept in the car yesterday. Ben dün arabada yattım. أنا نمت في سيارة الأمس. So by doing that, you get a chance to practice all the words and even your grammar at the same time naturally, and also memorize words. So don't practice words, practice sentences. The second rule, is don't learn grammar. A lot of people think and have this misconception of learning grammar will help you learn the language, which is true to some extent, but it's also not the natural way to learn it fast. Yes, I am very analytical thinker, and I like to learn grammar to understand the science behind something that I'm speaking. Even when I'm learning something that is mechanic, I always like to think what's the science behind it, but it slows me down. When you are a child or a baby, your mother, father weren't coming to you and telling you, say mama, say is a verb in this tense, and mama is the object and all that. No, just say mama and repeat it in front of you. And the same with in the first years in your school, preschool. They just repeat words in front of you. Same thing. You want to learn it naturally, you want to learn it fast, then you're not gonna learn grammar, you're gonna learn sentences, which is related to our first rule, and you're just gonna put it to practice and just play with it, and repeat what you hear. Keep your eyes and ears open and see what people are writing on billboards and texts and magazines and posts. Change your phone language to the language you want to learn. And stop using Duolingo. Fuck Duolingo. I hate Duolingo. Whenever somebody is telling me, oh, I'm learning Spanish, I'm using Duolingo. Fuck you, like Duolingo. I got high score in Duolingo learning Russian, and I don't speak jack shit for Russian. I cannot speak Russian even if it's dependent on my life to speak Russian. The only thing I know is как дела and хорошо, and I learned it from some Russian bitch that I picked up back in Cyprus. Fuck Duolingo. Don't tell me about this Duolingo crap shit. Nobody learned a language through Duolingo. Find one person that learned a language, truly learned a language, that he can speak with it using Duolingo alone. They always use other stuff. Duolingo is good thing to keep like refreshing your mind and to not forget the words and vocabulary. Yes, but it's not a good way to learn a language. Fuck Duolingo. So back to the rule is don't learn grammar, learn using sentences, which is same thing as the first rule, but it will enable you to stop the bad habits that are slowing you down. Okay, the only grammar you need to take, like if you have to take, is the beginner level, that A0 level or A1, depending on which language you're trying to study. Other than that, you don't really need grammar. You don't really need it. You just need to practice like you were as a child, and grammar became something fluent. You don't know grammar. Some English-speaking natives I know don't know shit about grammar. I know English grammar better than them, but they speak it naturally. It comes naturally to them. So forget about grammar and just speak it and listen and repeat. Make it your obsession. Make it your habit till you start thinking with that language. Third rule is don't be shy. I teach languages. I've been teaching languages for 3 years. I know I don't look like a teacher now. I'm too handsome to like decorate myself and look in front of the camera. Otherwise, you couldn't watch this video without getting blind. So I am teaching languages for 3 years. And one of the frustrating things that faces me during my teaching is people be like, don't want to embarrass themselves. They are shy about making mistakes. And we all make mistakes. I'll be like, say this whenever I teach like a grammar, I teach words before it in sentences. I mean sentences, and we repeat the sentences, and each student have to repeat a set of sentences, and then I explain the grammar. So I want it to be like high-wired in their brain before we go with, okay? So they be like, I tell them to say, for example, ben dün okula gittim. They be like, no, I am too shy. I don't want, mister. Please, mister. Go to the next. Bitch. Say, ben dün yatakta, ben dün yattım. Forget about your shyness. Even if you're shy, even if you feel shy about whatever mistake you're gonna make, which is irrelevant and people will forget it and nobody cares about you, it will help you learn the language faster. For example, one example from my life. I was in high school and the teacher asked something related to what were they selling, a certain tribe was selling. And I said they were selling toz instead of tuz. Toz in Turkish means dirt and tuz means salt. And I said they were selling dirt instead of salt. And all my friends laughed at me when I said it. And now, after 10 years, I still remember it, but I never made the mistake again. I never made that same freaking mistake again. I used my shyness and embarrassment feeling not against me, for me. So I remember my mistakes and never make it. So I learn faster. So don't be shy. No need to be shy. Stop being shy and improve yourself. Encourage yourself to make mistakes. Yes, you will feel embarrassed, but you can use it to your own advantage, as I did